Okay, good morning, everyone. Last time you saw me was probably sitting on a hotel bed in lovely Dahlonega with a knee injury. So I spent the rest of that day in Dahlonega just relaxing, icing my knee, and sitting on that bed. Then I took a zero, still in Dahlonega, to get my knee checked out, and I picked up a knee brace. Things I haven't specifically mentioned before, at least I don't think I have. I am not a small person by any means of the measure. When I started the trail, so my pre-trail weight was 348.8 pounds. I am 6'4". I realize a lot of people, when they give their weights and they're bigger, they never include their height, which I think adds a lot of perspective. So 6'4", 348.8. Tack on a full backpack, anywhere from 30 to 40 pounds. So for math's sake, I'm carrying about 385. And when I climbed up Sassafras, which is one of the first lengthy and tall climbs, I landed heavy on one of my knees, and that wasn't good. So rather than risk hurting it more that day, stopped into town, got a knee brace. But back to today. So up over Sassafras, you go down into Cooper Gap, then you go up Justice Mountain, Justus, out of Cooper Gap, which is another like 300 feet up, over half a mile. Now, due to my drop-off time, a guy dropped me off up top here at about 8:30. Anyway, due to the pretty early start time of 8:30 and the non-traditional drop-off point, so not where people traditionally camp, I am currently clearing out all of the spider webs and cobwebs, not cobwebs, spider webs, that have been laid across the trail. So that's fun. I don't know if any of those are showing up on film, but they're hanging from the camera, they're hanging from me. They're all over the place. So today's objective, a little bit longer hike today, but a lot of it is going to be downhill, or at least there's no more major uphills after Justice Mountain. I'm going to go past Gooch Mountain Shelter, and I'm going to try and make it all the way to the campground that's right before the bear canister required area. There's a 6-mile stretch leading up to Blood Mountain and Neal Gap that requires a bear canister. Most people don't have one, so most people stop to camp at, I think it's called Lake Creek Campground right beforehand. Might be wrong on that name. So I'm gonna aim for there, and that's a 12-ish to 13-mile-ish day total, which would be my longest day out of 3. But that would set me up pretty good tomorrow to go up Blood Mountain and then down into Neal Gap, which is the first major resupply point. It's a little bit after 10 a.m. This is Gooch Mountain Shelter, right here behind me. Like I said, it's a little bit after 10 o'clock, so it's obviously already emptied out, since you don't have to like pack up a tent or anything. Everyone's already gone. This would have been my goal for the end of night 2, or the end of day 2. It's about 3.5 to 4 miles since I started. It's been about an hour and a half, so I'm making pretty good time. From here on out, today, it should be mostly an uphill climb, slow and gradual, getting past a few mountains until I get to go up Preaching Rock, which is about 200 feet in 0.3 miles, I think is what it was. And then I get to go up Big Cedar Mountain, which is right after Preaching Rock, and then it's pretty much downhill to the campsite at Lance Creek. It only lists 6 tenting sites at Lance Creek, so it would not surprise me if that is full. So I might have to find alternate camping nearby or something of that. Another thing I've noticed is when the guide calls out a creek, I'm going to have to cross it, like via a rock crossing or a bridge. If it calls out a stream, you just step across it. I passed a whole bunch of streams and about 3 creeks, including the most recent one, which actually has campsites at it. That one is called Blackwell? It is. Blackwell Creek. That's a big one. I could have filled my water there. There's supposed to be water behind the shelter. I actually haven't looked, but I'm probably going to go fill up my water bottle here. I'm basically taking an early morning break, getting some fluids in me before I have to climb the rest of the day. So next one will probably be Not sure. Preaching Rock has really good views, as does the mountain. You can see down into Suchess, Georgia, and see the lake and everything. I just saw a hiker pass the edge of the trail there, so that's, I guess he's not coming over. You don't have to come over. Why not? But this is going to be a really long day, especially by comparison to my first 2 days. But I'm trying to catch up because I'm already basically missing a day and a half of hiking because of my stupid knee injury. But today should make it to Lance Creek. Tomorrow should be Neil Gap, which is the trail goes literally through a building, which is pretty kind of cool. This is Ramrock Mountain, mile marker 18.9. Damn, that's a view. Still day 4. Little after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I just got to Woody Gap in the Chattahoochee National Forest. You can see there's a bathroom behind me. Well, kinda. There's also supposed to be a water source a little bit up the trail. There's a huge thunderstorm hitting tonight at about 2-3 a.m. A lot of people are heading out for the night. Not sure if I should. The next place isn't a shelter, it's Lance Creek Campground. And to get there I have to hike up and over Big Cedar Mountain, which is a huge hike, and come down the other side. I got the time, like I said, it's only 3 o'clock, but I don't know if I want to camp in the campsite. But I just got back on the trail and I really don't want to go back into town already. So it's actually been a beautiful day. I got to hike up and down Ramrock Mountain, which had a gorgeous view. It says there's views here too, probably up the trail a little bit, so I might have to hike on to see those. It's been a good day back on the trail. This is the morning of day 5. I'm at Lance Creek campsite. It's been raining since about 1 a.m. It is just after 7 a.m. right now. It's supposed to rain until 10 or 11 a.m. I can already feel some of my gear is soaked along the outsides of the tent. I'm going to try and stay in the tent as long as possible before I take off. Supposed to go over Blood Mountain today. There's going to be like maybe a 2 to 3 hour gap with no rain, and it's supposed to pick up again at 3 p.m. So it's going to be kind of a crazy day. But we'll see. We'll see. Still the same day coming out of Lance Creek. I'm at Girard Gap right now. The forecast changed this morning. Instead of having a gap between like 11 and 4 where it wasn't going to rain, it's just going to rain all day, hence my ridiculous looking rain gear. I reopened a blister on my heel, and it's excruciating to hike. So I think what I'm going to do is try and hike up to Neil's Gap, and I'm done with the trail. It's hard to phrase. I'm not sorry I came out here in any way, shape, or form. This has been one of the hardest things I've had to do in my life, and it's only been 5 days. But it's too much for me, so I just want to get to Neil's Gap, go through the cool mountains crossing, and I'll get a ride to town and head home. I just can't take another week off to let my heel heal again. But I got a lot going for me back at home though, so I'm not upset with that. For everyone who's watched, I love you so much for watching, and thank you very much for all your support.